Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos, Parshas Emor, Erev Shabbos, Lag BaOmer. In this week's parsha, we talk about the mitzvah of Sfiras Omer, of the counting of the Omer, the period of time that we're in now, where we show outward signs, post-biblical, but we show outward signs of mourning over the death of the students of Rabbi Akiva. I want to speak a little bit about Lag BaOmer, but you listen to this on Sunday, on Monday of next week, it's still very applicable. We know that Rabbi Akiva lost 12,000 pairs of students, 24,000 students. They died in between Pesach and Shavuos, 33 days. And they didn't die on Lag BaOmer. So Lag BaOmer has become a quasi-holiday. If to wonder what's the basis of a quasi-holiday, just because students didn't die. Students didn't die. Okay, good. I'm appreciative of the fact that nobody died on that day, but it's not a holiday. People were still dying. It was still a tragic time. Historically, it was a tragic time. What happened on that day that would turn it into a quasi-holiday? Something is very simple. Rabbi Akiva lost 24,000 students. It was an incredible tragedy. And what did Rabbi Akiva do after that tragedy? He didn't change professions. He didn't pick up another job. He didn't go into computers. Rabbi Akiva looked at it and he said there was a mistake. There was a mistake that was made by my students, and they got that from the things that I was teaching. And therefore, I need to switch my entire way of teaching. Up until now, I've been teaching V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. The flaw in V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha is that I love you like I love myself. That means what's hateful to me, I'm not going to do to you. But if I have a very strong constitution, a very good sense of self, and I'm really never insulted by people, you can say whatever you want. You can make fun of me. It doesn't make a difference. I've got thick skin. Unfortunately, I could end up sometimes not giving you the kind of covet and not giving you the kind of attention that you need, because I don't need that. If it's all about kamocha, if it's all about like me, and not really just about the value of you, so then I could end up doing things that are not really appropriate, but they're not terrible because they don't hurt me. Rabbi Akiva realized that's where his students got lo nagu kavod zeh b'zeh. That's where they got that they didn't show the proper kind of honor to each other. They had a lot of love for each other. That's why they're called 12,000 pairs of students. But they didn't have that sense of honor, that sense of kavod, that ability to be able to recognize when they said things that were different than each other, to be able to respect and to love each other, even in that. And then Rabbi Akiva opened up another yeshiva with a different ideology. The Medrash records that there was a machlokas. Midzoma said that what's the most important pasuk in the Torah? Not v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Said the most important pasuk in the Torah, these are the generations of man. Man was created in the image of God. Why is that the most important pasuk in the Torah? Because that tells me why I have to love another human being. I have to love another human being because they are another human being. Because they're another person. They are created b'tselem Elokim. Nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with the way I feel. It doesn't matter what I like or what I don't like. It doesn't matter what I'm comfortable with or what I'm not comfortable with. It's all about you. And it's all about your value. Rabbi Akiva looked after this tremendous tragedy of losing 24,000 students, of building a world and watching it destroy right in front of you, to realize that it was his flaw. He picked himself up, he dusted himself off, and he moved forward. And he rebuilt his life, and because of that, he rebuilt his world. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, his student, spends 13 years in a cave, buried in sand during the day, learning Torah, reaching incredible spiritual heights. Coming out of that cave after 13 years and saying to his son-in-law, who was so disturbed to see how physically marred his father-in-law was, he says, it's a sign of glory that I was able to go through that kind of pain in order to be able to raise myself in such spiritual heights. The average person would have been completely broken. of having been separated from life for 13 years, would no longer know how to live inside of the world. And the first thing he did was to figure out how he could help the townspeople around him, how he could pay it forward, all of the kindness that God showed him. Water and carob is what he lived on for 13 years. It didn't break him. He dusted himself off and he moved on. Every mitzvah in the Torah is connected to another day of the year. Every negative commandment. It's 365 solar days of the year, 365 negative commandments. Our rabbis grapple with how each commandment is connected to which day. What's the commandment that's connected to Tisha B'Av? The rabbis tell us Gid Anosha, not eating the sciatic nerve, which is the remembrance of what happened to Yaakov when he fought with the angel. At the end of that fight, the angel smacked him in the leg, hurt him bad. Yaakov Avinu picked himself up, dusted himself off, and he went onwards and upwards. That's the mark of a Jew. We get knocked down, but we pick ourselves up and we go onwards and upwards. Every single human being, we fall down, but we have the ability to get back up. And it doesn't make a difference whether we have spiritual issues, whether we have personal issues. We never lose hope. We keep davening and we keep continuing and trying. And when we do, we see wonders. Rabbi Akiva is our paradigm. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is our paradigm. Or we talk about the fires in Meron that they have to do with the light that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai brought into the world. You know what light he brought into the world besides just the Zohar and besides just the Torah that he gave? But he carried on the torch of Rabbi Akiva. That ability to be able to pick ourselves up and to dust ourselves off and to go onwards and upwards. To have struggles in our lives and yet not have the struggles define us and not have the struggles destroy us. We're told in the mitzvah Aliyah L'Regel, when we go up to the temple, there's a beautiful pasuk that says, Mayofu pamayich b'no olam bas nediv, describing the Holy Regel, the people that are going up to Yerushalayim 3 times a year on Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot. How beautiful are your feet in shoes. The shoes indicative of the walking up to Yerushalayim. Do you understand what kind of anxiety people must have had going up to Yerushalayim? First of all, you carried the whole family with you. You were there with your 10, 12 kids. You were there with your shviger. You were there. Everybody was with you. Your behemoths that you were bringing up to Yerushalayim, everything was there with you. Literally, you brought the kitchen sink with you. And you're leaving everything behind. Every person went up to Yerushalayim. You know what's on your mind? I hope I find my farm back when I get home. I hope my wagon is still parked in the driveway. I hope we still have a country. I hope the enemies don't come and burn everything down. So God comes along and he promises us, no one is going to take your land when you come up. And it's a promise. But as you're pulling out of the driveway, you're uneasy. You're thinking this. You say to yourself, you know what? You got to have more bitachon, buddy. You got to have more faith. Lo yachmod, nothing's going to happen. And as you're going down the road and you start to hit traffic and the kids are starting to scream in the back seat, are we there yet? Tati, he hit me. He won't let me play with the toy. And you're starting to stress out. And then brings up those bad feelings. Maybe I'm not going to find things when I come back. No, buddy, you got to have more bitachon. And this is what travels with you as you're getting closer to Yerushalayim. By the time you get to Yerushalayim, your brain's about to burst. You keep convincing yourself it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. L'yach manish. And then you see it. You see that incredible cloud coming up from the Mizbeach. The winds are blowing and that cloud is not deviating. It's going straight up to the heavens. You see the presence of Hashem. You walk into the temple. You hear the sounds of the Levites singing their beautiful song. You see the beautiful sacrifices. You feel the aura. And you feel it. That emunah, that bitachon, that faith and that trust in God. You got nothing to worry about. Everything is awesome. Lo yach morish. That thought is not even in your head. You're home. Which part of that journey does God love the most? Your stressed out self that keeps saying, Lo yachmod, nothing's going to happen. I love God. I love this. I'm so happy. My kids are screaming in the background. It's fine. We're going up to be Oila Regel to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Or when you walk into the temple and everything melts away. And you are so clear about the fact that you're connected to the Ribono Shel Olam, to the Master of the universe. Says the pasuk, Ma yofu pa'amayich, bina olim bas nediv. I love the journey. I love watching you struggle and then dusting yourself off and moving onwards and upwards. I love seeing that you're anxious and working hard and reaching a place, that you're working hard to find the shalom inside you. You're working hard to remind yourself of what your core is all about. I love that, my bas nediv, my beautiful daughter of the great ones. That's what's so beautiful about you. That struggle, that ability to be able to then regroup ourselves, fall down and get back up, but get back up and go onwards and upwards with the struggle, knowing that the Rebbeinu Shalom has my back. All I got to do is dust myself off, onwards and upwards. Guy had a photographic memory, blessed with it from birth. One day lost it. Couldn't remember anything. He went to the stipler and he asked the stipler to daven for him because now it was so difficult. He had to work so hard to paste things into his brains. Daven for him that he should get his photographic memory back. And the stipler Gonz Zatzal said to him, no, not going to daven for you. The struggle is better. Having to work hard, having to struggle, having to go through all of that. And then with that struggle, look at it and go, oh, let's go. We just had a little success. Let's move onwards and upwards. The struggle in life. That fight, that struggle, that anxiety, those difficulties, that's what tests our mettle and makes us who we are. That's Lag B'Omer. Lag B'Omer is the day of Rabbi Akiva and the day of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Not just the day of their Torah, but the day that they taught us that you just got to get back up and dust yourself off and keep moving onwards and upwards. And on the day that Rabbi Akiva opened his yeshiva and started teaching a student like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai on Lag B'Omer, that's a yontif. That's a day of great joy. It's not just the students didn't die, but the world changed on that day. because that encouragement to be able to keep our lives moving forward, that was what was instilled in us on Lag BaOmer. And that energy, I have the ability to grab on Lag BaOmer. I have the ability to be able to grab that every single day of the Omer. So that when I get to Shavuos, and I turn to God and I say, Naaseh v'nishma, I want that Torah. I have what it takes to succeed in that Torah. I have the guts and grit to be able to handle the difficulties and to be able to use them as the fuel that propels me onwards and upwards. We should have an illuminated day, an illuminated Shabbos, an illuminated rest of Sfira. And ma yofu pa'amayich, bin olim bas nediv. That struggle is beautiful when we climb above it and move onwards and upwards. Have a beautiful, amazing Shabbos.